Look at this little cabochon. So pretty. Look at that design. What is going on in there? It's like a molten lava planet where everything is just burning up, and it's like Volcano World. So obviously with all of these very, very, very warm colors, we're gonna wrap this guy with copper. This is square copper, 18 gauge, my favorite. And this is something I've done before. I'm gonna see if I can wrap the whole thing without needing any thin wire to support it, but I might. We'll see how far I go. So how much should I take? Let's take a lot just to be on the safe side. I'm gonna go with 2 whole feet here. And I'm gonna do what I like to do best, which is start in the middle and make a loop. Let's see how big that loop is for the stone. A little tighter. It's good, because we don't have room to scarf it. Okay, now we're gonna go, we're gonna put this guy down flat on the table. And, what are we gonna do? I was thinking of something, now I'm thinking of something else. Let's just have fun. I always feel like this is a woman, like, coming into the next room, like, what is going on? Like a grandmother in a big flowy dress, like, what is happening in here? Anyway, and then she starts to hug herself. And then she's getting ready to bow or curtsy. And let's give it a nice swirly look. So pretty. I love the square wire. It's so elegant. Look at that. It just bends like wire's supposed to bend. And so what do we do with this arm? Do we fold this over too? Yeah, why not? No, it's very unstable right now. It wants to keep popping off and coming apart, so I'm holding it as tight as I can. No, it's still slipping off. Now she's folding that arm across her chest, but let's make that come up even more. And then let's fold it back and mimic that curve there a little bit for a second, right? But then come around like that. So now they're okay, right? So they're kind of, it's like a dance, like they're kind of flowing together, but they're kind of doing their own thing. And this guy's gonna curl up right here and back. Boom. Okay, now it's starting to hold itself a little bit. I don't have to worry about it slipping around so much. And let's curl this one. Yeah, like that. And back also. And they're, these are sliding up and back right now. So what can we do to secure them? We want this here and this there. So they're already crossing and back. That's what we want them to do. We want them to cross because it makes more stability. So trying to hold it exactly where we want these without them moving. Let's look at the back and see how they're crossing right there. So let's just go with it. Let them cross right there if they want to. It's like the natural thing, right? So I'm folding them over double. So now it's actually starting to hold its place a little bit. Now let's see, do we want any more stuff happening in the front here? Yeah, we have a little bit of space to play with still. Let's see. Not much. I really just think we can come across like here and just be done with it. I feel like that's it, like right there. Let's move this out of the way. Right there like that. Like elegant, but not overdoing it. Still showing a lot of the beauty of the stone, right? So we'll fold this over and begin to scarf him. Just look how pretty this square wire is. I'm telling you guys. Get yourself some. Now I'm letting go of the stone and look, it's holding its spot. It's holding its shape almost completely by itself. I mean, it is by itself, but is it totally stable? Well, that's another question. But let's see. So that's wrapped around that way. Let's see if we can wrap it around the same way with this one. It'll look really good. Can we? Yes, we can. Look at that. So we can come straight up. I always like to end things by scarfing them, meaning pretend there's a little face up here like we've been doing the whole time, and give it a couple layers of scarfing, and then cut the sharp ends and tuck the sharp ends right into that scarf. So it's the easiest way to strengthen everything, bring everything together, and hide your sharp ends so you don't have to worry about them ever coming out, the piece ever coming undone, anyone ever getting scratched by a sharp end, heaven forbid. So see, now they're moving in unison again, these two. I'm going to fold them around here, press them down, keep that scarf tight, and it's so pretty, it's almost done. Come around again, like that, and that's it. That's all we need. We're done. Fold it to the back, and then we're going to cut these two. But before we cut them, could we use them to strengthen anything so we don't have to add more wire? Let's see. Stop shaking, camera. Hold still. Let's see. Let's feel this. Feel this. Now, everything's nice, but everything could get yanked out immediately because this isn't super secure. I mean, it's secure if it stays like this and nobody messes with it. But, you know, a necklace is going to take a beating. You know, it gets bounced all over the place. People end up hitting it with their arms without even realizing it as they're wearing it. You go to hug someone, hug 10 people in a row, and that necklace is going to get the brunt of the hug. You get all the affection, and the necklace just has to get squished like it's in some kind of chamber, like where things just get squished. So, you know, have compassion for your necklace. Build it strong so it will never come undone. So, see, that's all loose stuff. What do we want to do? If we could take this wire and come down and strengthen some parts, that would be good. Then we wouldn't need any more wire. But it looks like there's not really much we can do with this wire alone. And if we keep on moving it around and bunching it up, it's just going to make a big bunchy mess because this is pretty thick wire. And it's probably just going to make a big bird's nest. And you know, so we're going to cut this. And we're going to cut it, move it a little bit like that. A little diagonal up, and then cut it halfway across the loop. And then look at it. Does it look like it's cut just enough to tuck into that little bowl made by the scarf? I think so. If not, if you didn't cut enough, if you can cut a tiny bit more. If you cut too much, then you might have to unwind it and tuck it in on the other side. But I think we're good, so we'll try it. First we pinch it towards the middle of the bowl. See that? We're pinching it in towards the middle. And then we turn this way and we pinch it down into the bowl. And if you do it just right, everything goes in there. And then you can check the front, see how that got moved up a little bit. Move that back down. You want it just the way you want it. And lay like that. You want everything to bend just the way, bend to your will. This is your piece. It should bend to your will. Right? You want that a little bit more like that. Because we want these to play. We want these curves to play with each other, but we don't want them to actually completely touch right there. And we want this maybe a little tighter. Just pinch, give it a careful pinch. And pull it out a little bit like that. Pressing it tight against the stone. Always pressing it tight against the stone. I like that. I feel like that's great. Now, what do we do in the back here? We get very thin copper. 24, 26, 28, even 30. This is 24. And we take, I don't know. Let's just take 1.5 feet. Should give us plenty because we're just doing a little bit of tightening up. Now, what could really use some wire to strengthen it? What part? Probably right here. We don't want to mess up this design, but let's see if we can do it without showing any wire in the front at all. So we'll come through here. Let's come to the middle. So we have 2 wires to play with, and we'll pull it right here, crimp it. See that? Okay. Now let's see, where can we attach it? Yeah, it's gonna have to. You're gonna have to show a little bit of wire in front. That's okay. That's okay, we're not shy. We can show a little bit of our wire in front. It's not a bad thing. It's not scandalous. Show a little bit of the wire. Okay, that's okay. So we get that anchored right there. And let's see. Okay, we want to get it down further, so let's get it under there again. Pull it tight. Trying to do this while looking at the camera so I don't go off camera. Come around one more time. This time we're going to go under this bend right here, which is oh good. If you can't get it under, that means you made your wire really tight, which is good. You can grab it and lift it a little bit to get your thin wire under, but that one under, good. Tighten it. Now we're right over here where we want to come through here. Come through that loop. See, it doesn't want to go through the loop because I have it so tight because I'm emerging. So we got to get our fingernail under there and lift it a little bit. Can we get it under? Nope. Let's get the fingernail under, lift, and push, and we're in. Ah, popped back out. Okay, and okay, there we go. Tight. Yeah. All right, that's not terrible. See how much thin wire is showing? Not the end of the world. Kind of almost looks good. Tuck it under here again. Pull tight. Come around. Now see how the whole piece feels stronger, more secure. This right here needs to be secured too. So let's see how we're going to do that. Let's work our way under here. Usually I kind of pause the camera and do a lot of this off camera so you don't have to sit there and watch me for the whole time because this can be kind of tedious. But for those patient people, you know, you can fast forward it, but if you want to watch the whole thing, this is how it goes. I'm just thinking it through as I go. Thinking it through. So I'm working my way down. When you work your way down a thick wire with a thin wire, sometimes it goes like this. You're zigzag, you're threading it around and around like one of those red and white poles outside the old-timey barbershops. You know, the little stripes going up diagonally. Just working the thin wire around the big wire until you get it all the way down to where you want it. And that makes it very strong, helps it keep its place. If you try to rush it, you try to jump to where you want right away, the wire might be weak and might slide all over the place, and that's not what you want. All right, so where were we going with this? We wanted to secure, this is the one we wanted to secure. It's actually feeling more secure already. How's this one doing? That one feels good. This feels good. I think just wrapping it like that is really helping. But to get it more secure, we're going to bring it up here, and we're going to tuck it under this one, this little connection we made right here. And we're just, it's like, this is way more engineering than art at this point, because we're just trying to anchor it from every direction we possibly can so it's pulled tight in every which way. So if it takes a beating, it's not going, the stone won't slip out and the wire won't get pulled out of shape and your piece won't get messed up. People won't come after you like, you sold me a necklace that went weird when I tried to give someone a hug. That's not what necklaces are supposed to do. They're supposed to be able to withstand hugs. So now I usually try to end these thin wires the same way the thick ones. I wrap them around several times and tuck them in the little bowl because it's a great place to tuck. If I run out of wire and I can't get it up to the bowl with, you know, enough space to wrap it around, I'll usually coil it into a little swirl and try to tuck it in somewhere where it won't get yanked out. But so far this is working good. So I wrapped it around here, and these thin wires just kind of blend in. If you do it right, it just kind of blends in with the, you're looking at it really up close so you can see it, but when it's really far away down here, you're not even going to see that. So wrap it around twice to be safe, and then look at that, we just ran out of wire in time. Cut that little bit off, so we just have enough to tuck it. Now if it's really thin wire, I might make a little coil here so it has more bulk, so when you tuck that bulk in, that coil can get stuck better so it doesn't come out. But 24 is still kind of wiry enough. It's kind of a little thicker than some of the other super thin gauges. So now I'm gonna grab it like this, bend it towards there, and then instead of pinching it, I'm going to put the pliers together and just kind of jab it. Just like that. Just try to jab it right in there. Did I get it in? Let me see. Looks good to me. All right, now what do we do with this guy? Let's see if there's anything else that needs strengthening. How are we doing up here? Move, push on all the parts. Is it moving? Not really. Now, granted, you could, if you pushed with all your might, you could push it out of the way. But it depends how incredibly tight you want it. Do you want it to be so tight that a MMA fighter could wear it in the ring, or a boxer, and they could literally get it punched several times and smacked and smushed on the ground as the fighter falls on his face, and it's still not come undone? If you want it that tough, then you're going to have to put like all kinds of extra connections. But for average wear and tear, this is pretty strong. I feel like that right there is still a little bouncy. So I'm going to do what works right best here and thread this guy right in there. I'm getting better at this. You either, see, I'm like, how to grab it, because I'm looking at it through the camera instead of looking at it in real life. If I look at it in real life, all is good and well until I need to brace something, and I'll move off camera to use better muscles. I'll be like, oh no, I'm off camera. People can't tell what's going on. All right, so I think that maybe you want to go around it one more time. So let's thread it under there and pull it tight. This is another reason I'm going a little bit slow, but maybe that's helping you guys to follow. For some of you guys who are a little new to this, grab it. Okay, pull tight. All right. Okay, so that gave that a little bit of a, coil, but it didn't really mess up the design at all, right? I don't think so. So now let's put one more. Like 2 is cool, but 3 really looks good. If we're going to show some coil anyway, if we're not going to be shy, show off our sexy coil, let's make it a 3 for. So come around under there and get in there. Wire, unlike thread, wire bounces. It's kind of like sewing until it bounces back, and then you're like, what are you doing? Thread never bounced back on me. At least I don't think so. Maybe some of you advanced sewing people have said, oh yeah, there's some kind of wire, some kind of thread that will bounce on you. Pull that tight. See, it pulled it out a little bit, but push it back and we're good. Okay. Now, if we're only concerned about strength and not beauty, we literally could wrap a connection around there, around here, from here. We could make the whole thing like a spider web of connections. And there are some pieces like that where it's like a tapestry, and there's patterns to do it so it doesn't look junky. But we really want this elegance of these curves to show, and we want the pretty stone to show underneath. And I think we've achieved that. So now right here, we want to get from here to here. That's going to make a strong connection right there. So get that under there. Get it under. Everything's tighter now, which is good. Good thing. Oop, can I grab it? Where am I? Where am I? There we go. Grab it, pull. And grab it. Look, I kinked it right there. See that? I grabbed it too hard and bent. You want to be careful not to kink it. I'm flattening the kink now so it doesn't become a problem. Pull really hard. Now, if you're really strong, you'll break the wire, but wire is pretty tough. You have to pull it really. It's usually not pulling it hard that breaks it. It's usually when you make a kink and then you pull, and that kink makes a really weak point. That's why you want to try to avoid getting a kink in your wire. All right. Sexy wire with kinks. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's come around here, and this. See that? That could use a wire right there, just like that one. Do I want one? Would it balance out the whole the shape? Maybe it would, because we have one here, one thin wire here, one thin wire there. Maybe putting a little thin wire there isn't going to hurt. And it literally, the wire is in place to do it. It's in place right here. All we have to do is come right across. So I'm going to go for it and see. And, if it makes it look icky, then I'll just pull it out because I'm pretty much done. And I'm just testing it. Make this extra strong without losing its elegance. Pull. And pull. We want to make that, we want to make it kind of look like a little more like a triangle. A little more like it's coming like, not as rounded. Want it really tight. Okay, I think we did it. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. It's kind of like a curve and a curve. All right, we're coming back here, and I'm going to come right back to the same spot to put it back under again. Get in there. Get under. Oops. I want it to go under both of them. Always be firm with the wire where you want it to go. If you can't get it exactly where you want it to go, sometimes it doesn't matter, but it often does matter. So, see, that's, I got to lift that. It doesn't want to go under both sets of wires. See, I lifted it with my fingernail, and it's in. I told it where to go, and it had to listen. It was like, okay, I submit. You're too strong for me, Mr. Matt. I'm just a weak little 24 gauge wire. I must submit to you. Darn tootin' you will submit to me, because I am the wire master. Now again, we're going to come up here, and we're just going to wrap it around one more time. And if you do it real gentle, it won't. I'm actually wrapping the same pattern I did with the other thin one, so it's kind of making it look kind of cool. Come back up here, cut it. Oh, I'm so happy you watched the entire thing. I didn't pause it at all. I don't think. Maybe I paused it to grab the thin wire. That was about it. And get this last little piece, move him towards the middle, and then tuck him in. Yeah, baby, he's in. Tuck him down in the bowl. He's gone. Then you could put a tiny little drop of E6000 in there to make absolutely sure that somehow that doesn't get caught on some little piece of hair and yanked back out, because then that'll be a sharp little thing you would stab someone. Other than that, we're done. And if you put the E6000 like right there, it really doesn't touch the stone. So you're not gluing the wire to the stone. You're just gluing the wire to itself right there. And I think that's allowed. You could also tighten some of your connections in the back where it doesn't show by putting pressing it. You can press it into the stone, and you can also grab it and put little crimps. You grab it straight down, you hold it tight, and then you turn it. And if you keep turning them the same way, it looks good. It looks kind of like a lightning bolt, but you're not focusing now, camera. But you want to, you're doing it to strengthen it, not really to make it look good. You can do this to make it look good. It's like a crackly effect if you do it on the front of the stone. But see, that kind of looks cool even in the back. It doesn't look horrible, at least. And then our front just looks like, oh, sexy. Mama. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Now, a lot of people will take this and turn it this way to put the chain through it. Or they'll put a bunch of loops and turn it this way, and that becomes what they call the bail. I like to add pretty jump rings because it adds like another dimension. And that way I have my loop facing this way, and then I have my jump rings facing that way, and then the chain goes through the jump rings. That's just my style. You can copy me if you like, whatever you like. Now, of course, that requires having jump rings in the same color as the wire you use, but you should have that anyway. That's a good standard set of supplies. Means you have jump rings, lobster clasps. Do I have them in here? Oh, not in the bright copper. I have them in the antique copper color, but jump rings, lobster clasps, and wire, all the same color. Then you are set to do your wire wrapping. Why can't you make your own jump rings? Well, you can in a pinch, but if you're working with copper is not that strong. The jump rings are usually made out of a stronger base metal, and then they're coated with copper or coated with the color of the wire. So they look the same, but they can hold a lot more strength because it's just a little circle. And it just has a little open slit. It's not tucked in anywhere. So this needs to be able to hold a lot more strength than the regular wire. Because regular wire, that's why we tuck it and make tight connections. So that's why I buy my jump rings. I don't make them. Now, if I'm stuck, I don't have any jump rings the right color, you can make them, but I usually will pick a thicker gauge and I'll make smaller loops, smaller circles, smaller jump rings, because the smaller circles have more strength. The wider you make them, the more flimsy they get, the more prone to being pulled apart. Just basic physics, you know what I'm saying? Tensile strength and all that jazz. Oh, so pretty. See that? Just put it down like that, and then, well, they fan out, but once you put the chain, they stay like that. And this part kind of mirrors the scarf. Like we have a bunch going this way and then a bunch going that way, and it's so pretty, and it looks so good. Picture that on some beautiful person's neck. Well, everybody's beautiful, especially when they wear this. They become beautiful. If they were beautiful already, they become exquisite. And of course, everybody's beautiful, so they were beautiful already. All right, guys, you have a wonderful evening. What do you guys think? Suede cord, brown cord, green cord, Or, I'm going to be wild and crazy today. Brown and green cord together. Or, suede and green cord together. Ooh. Or, brown, green, and suede cord together. Wait a minute. I think I like the brown and suede just like that. Yeah. That green was kind of daring though. Now, if these are already made up, these cords, if they already have the clasp like this, so what do? You have 2 clasps and 2 sets of links. Well, the brown cord happens to be a little bit longer, so we're going to wrap the brown cord around here and tie it, and then we can cut it off and just let the suede cord be in control. We'll do the same on the other end where the links are over here. Okay? Yeah. Now, when you're doing that, first you want to pull it really tight and get it right up to the edge. And you want to put a little dab of super glue right in there so it doesn't slide around. If you have it. If you don't have it, it'll still work. But remember, we're going to cut one of these off and we don't want it to unravel on us. And you get a little piece of plastic or napkin and just squeeze out the extra and rub it. Make sure it dries real quick and doesn't make any gooey stuff and you don't accidentally glue your fingers together. And once you think that's really good, it dries really fast. You can come up here, take some scissors, cut that off right at the base. Bam! Don't worry, it will not unravel. Now you want to take the strands and stretch them out. You want to pull them really, really straight so that the cords stay together. Start out at the end, pull all the way down to this end, okay? And then tie the knot right here, making sure they stay like that. Right, other knot. Voila. And oops. That is working out very nice.